profit.
The Lok Sabha has cleared the land acquisition bill. But even before this historic piece of legislation becomes a law, the real estate industry has raised red flags. With enhanced compensation and rehabilitation provisions, the bill might be pro-farmers, but the real estate industry says the cost to the building and construction companies will be huge. Raheja sums up the voices of dissent.
The bill to ensure a humane, participatory, informed, consultative and transparent process for land acquisition.
Almost 117 years later, India is all set to have a new land acquisition law.
The motion is adopted and the bill as amended is passed.
But are the provisions of the bill good enough for all sectors of the society? Apparently not. Along with the industry at large, the real estate space too is now a worried lot. The compensation and R&R provisions, lengthy clearance processes, including environment clearance and social impact assessment study, are the major cause of worry for the industry. The compensation has to be 2 times the market rate in urban areas and 4 times in rural areas. Affected families will get either employment or a one-time grant of 5 lakh rupees per family or an annuity payment of 2,000 rupees per month per family for 20 years as R&R, not to forget the consent clause of 80% landowners' approval for acquisition in case of private companies.
It will make land acquisition very, very difficult. 70 or 80% consents as desired in the bill will be virtually impossible. Also, the compensation package and rehabilitation package that is sought in the bill is very harsh. Ultimately, it will have a cascading effect on entire real estate market.
With Gram Sabhas, state agencies and expert groups involved at several levels in the entire land acquisition process, industry is not sure if the farmer will actually benefit and the bill will achieve what it aims for. Another provision that the industry and analysts have found little merit in is the one that states that R&R would apply to private purchase as well.
What really does not make sense is that why should the private person who's acquiring land come under this bill? Because this is not a forceful takeover of land like the government would do. When a private person goes and acquires land, it's a voluntary transaction. He would have to pay a market price, because if he does not pay the market price, the landowner doesn't have to sell, and he would have to pay a market price, and if the market price is there, the transaction will happen.
It is not just the steep compensation and R&R provisions that is bothering the industry. The newly introduced social impact assessment study is being seen by the industry as yet another impediment in the land acquisition process. As per the bill, social impact assessment study will be done in consultation with the Gram Sabhas in the affected area in such manner and within such time as may be prescribed. An expert panel will then appraise the report. The SIA has to be done 6 months before the acquisition process.
A new clearance which big projects are required to have, which is SIA, social impact assessment, which is in addition to the EIA clearance, the infamous environment clearance that we need to get. Now on paper the environment clearance is supposed to take 2 months, but it practically takes 1.5 to 2 years, and all big projects are getting stuck because of that particular approval. Now one fears that similar thing is going to happen on the SIA front.
Clearly unhappy with the provisions of the bill, industry leaders say the bill needs a lot of tweaking and there are better ways of handling land acquisition and compensation.
I think the much better mechanism could be putting all the land or property offers online, and naturally those lands which are not productive, which are not good for agriculture, which are not irrigated or which are barren, those lands could always, since they are not yielding anything, the landowners or group of landowners could always offer online that we want that you take industrialization at this place and we offer at this price for our land, and our deal is this. In compensation, we want this much of money and this much of long-term benefits.
The government might have to do a lot more convincing to get everybody on board. The bill has to pass Rajya Sabha to become the law. Going by the government's intent, it could be as early as tomorrow. But what could be a matter of concern for us is the fact that realty prices could shoot up by at least 30%, thanks to the government's pro-farmer stance. In New Delhi, Oinita Moja Sinha, NDTV.
Not really sure whether it's a pro-farmer stance or just that an extremely old bill or act needed a change very desperately, and there's never going to be a consensus on something as complicated as a land acquisition law or act in the country. Anyway, we'll keep bringing you viewpoints from both sides. That's our job, and we'll move on to doing the other one, which we do rather well. There's Anuj Walia on the phone line. Let's help him get a good property in his budget. Anuj, go ahead.
Hi Manisha, thank you for taking my question.
You're welcome.
Firstly, I want to congratulate NDTV and this entire show, because I think you're doing an amazing job here, and I think even prosecutor team is extremely knowledgeable, and it's worth watching your program. Even if I don't have any interest in what's happening in other states, but I keep watching your program because it's very knowledgeable.
Oh, lovely.
So
That's so nice to hear.
So this is my second time on NDTV Property. My question is that, I'm looking at investment, and the area that I've shortlisted is New Gurgaon. This is the sector 82 to 105, and my budget is about 1 to 1.25 crores. I can look at a property that is under construction, and I'm looking at 3 BHK to 4 BHK with a servant quarters. So, and I can wait for some time. Even if it's under construction, I can wait for about 2 years or so. Okay. The aim is investment, and it could be end use also about 5 years from now.
All right, fair enough. So I don't think, first of all, you should be in a hurry to buy. Take your time and choose the right property, but we'll get you to shortlist at least some that you can start looking at. I think New Gurgaon, Samir, if I'm not mistaken, is now the place or the area in Gurgaon which is seeing the maximum new launches. Or is it Dwarka Expressway?
I think it's going to be New Gurgaon.
New Gurgaon.
The fact of the matter is, I think it's much larger as well.
Yes,
right?
the area-wise.
Yes, from if you look at the number of sectors in New Gurgaon and the size of those sectors, is going to be much larger. Plus, the land was much cheaper to acquire compared to Dwarka Expressway whenever this land was acquired. So that's why you're seeing projects being launched at a much higher price on Dwarka Expressway side. Also, it's proximity to Delhi. Some part of it. You would also shortlisted one of the projects which I will share with you, which was the Vatika project. So yes, talking a little bit about New Gurgaon, if you have a time horizon of 5 years for end use, I think this is perfectly fine. If you have an investment horizon, keep at least 5 years in mind. When you make an investment today anywhere probably across India, the third thing that I'd like to mention over here is that New Gurgaon is going to take a little bit more time because there's some more supply that's going to hit the market when the markets tend to improve. If you get distressed deals at this point in time, you may want to consider them if you get some distress out there in the market, for sure. And you will see some investors wanted to exit under construction projects. People who made investments have made returns and are probably looking to get out and not be invested in real estate. Those are the kind of people you'll find there. So I'll come to the key data points of these areas and as well as the recommendations. 69 projects, 32,966 units, inventory overhang 8 months with respect to this micro market, starting with sector 81 going up to sector 95. The weighted average price of this mid to luxury segment market is 5413 rupees a square feet. 58% has been the price appreciation over the last 2.5 years, or 23.30% on an annualized basis. This is not going to happen in the near future because the base now has become much higher. So even if appreciation continues in this micro market, which is a rare chance, you will not witness this kind of appreciation. Seven Lamps by Vatika Group in Sector 82 is one of the good projects that you can consider. 5,300 rupees a square feet is the price. 2015 is the completion year, and this project is available from the resale market. This price appreciation trends have shown that this project has done about 20% since launch on an annualized basis. We've got 3 more projects, but a little bit about Vatika. This project is situated within 700 acres of the Vatika Group's integrated township, and Vatika as of recently has sold off some FSI within this integrated township, so should not be that cash trapped. That's a key point that I'd like to make, and the structure of this project is ready. So you can look forward to hopefully getting this project on time. The other 3 projects that you can consider are Gurgaon 1 by Alpha G Corp. This is sector 84. 5,300 rupees a square feet is the price. 2015 is the completion year, and this project is available from the resale market. This project has shown an appreciation of 13% since launch on an annualized basis. Casa Bella by Mapsco Group, sector 82, 4,200 rupees a square feet. So you can take advantage of the low entry price of this project. This project is getting ready in 2014, available from the resale market, and the price appreciation of this project has been 15% since launch. Bestek Parkview Ananda, this is by Bestek Group, sector 81. This project is trading at 5,400 rupees a square feet on the resale market, getting ready in 2014, and this project's shown an appreciation of 10% since launch. Keeping your requirement in mind, I think you should be better off in buying projects that get ready by 2015.
All right, so big disclaimer here, or at least a statutory warning that be prepared to hold your investments for the long term if you are buying in that new Gurgaon market, but you do have a long-term perspective of 5 years. So here's what you should look at. This is Gurgaon 1 by Alpha G Corp, there's Casa Bella by Mapsco Group, and there's also Bestek Parkview by Ananda Bestek, 1.25 crore in New Gurgaon. And of course, you also have a thumbs up on the Vatika project that you sent to us. Pradeep Siluja writes in, he says, I'm planning to buy a 3 BHK flat in Noida Expressway in a budget of 80 to 90 lakh. To advise me good builder options for under construction. Delivery time frame that I'm looking at is 1 to 2 years or ready to move in. Okay, Noida Expressway, what can we say? You know, I'm not talking about Noida Expressway in particular, but the regularity with which I'm getting subvention schemes and offers on Greater Noida or Noida Extension just shows me that there is a little bit of stress in that market, if not on the expressway. Some markets of Noida.
You could be absolutely right, because Noida Extension, Greater Noida has been an investor-driven market. All the investors would be probably trying to exit right now at this point in time. So the developers would be finding it much harder to sell right now, so they have to come out with innovative ways, and the only innovative way that they can really come out with, because construction can't be seen of newer projects, is subvention scheme. So the cash flow of the end user or the investor is the least.
Yes.
And if it's the least, the developer will be able to compete with his own investor in the market. So that's what I think. That's why I think, and people today don't have that kind of money and belief in the developer that he will deliver on time and they will keep on paying the EMI. So they rather now pass on the risk to the bank or on to the developer. But you have to be very careful when you buy subvention schemes.
In fact, today when I opened the mailbox, HDFC Realty, I thought maybe, you know, generally you get a mailer from them, it's one project. But today they had 3 projects with subvention schemes. So that just tells you what the market is. It is very
important for the viewer to realize that subvention scheme does not mean that that your EMI will start when the project gets ready. This is a big misnomer. What you're getting is a 3-year moratorium, which is very different from what the developer is telling you, that you will have to pay your EMI once you get the project once you get the apartment in your hand. Once 3 years are up and the project is not ready, your EMI will start, and then you will not know where to go, because if the markets are not good, then you will not be able to exit as well.
In Gurgaon, also a couple of subvention schemes. You have Palm Drive, Emaar MGF, classic example. The subvention got over. Investors were desperate to get out because they never thought that they would want to, you know, or have to continue to pay large EMIs. And the project is far from over.
Yeah. So today may be a good idea actually to negotiate with the developer and say that, you know, you are committing that you will deliver in 3 years and my EMI starts at possession. So what if you don't deliver? So then you should take care of the EMI installments till I don't get possession.
Right.
And get that clause incorporated in the agreement, and then you're a little safer. And then you can go ahead and blindly buy in today's market.
Okay, all right.
So that is one suggestion that I'd like to give. I'll come to the key data points of the Noida market. 17 projects in Noida Expressway Stretch 1, 13,477 units, and 12 months is the inventory overhang of the market. 44 sector going up to 131 sectors, what we define as Stretch 1 of the expressway. The second micro market is the Stretch 2 of the expressway, which starts with sector 93, goes all the way up to 168. 50 projects, 38,528 units coming up here. Inventory overhang of 18 months. If you were to look at the weighted average price of both the markets, the stretch one of the expressway is trading at 5938 rupees a square feet on the weighted average price chart, and 4665 rupees a square feet is the price of Noida Expressway stretch 2. Price appreciation trends very similar for both micro markets, 50% for the stretch 1 over the last 2.5 years, or 20% on an annualized basis. Similar 49% over the last 2.5 years for the expressway stretch 2. Again, 20% on an annualized basis. Recommendations: Tierra by Paras Buildtech, Sector 137, trading between 4,900 and 5,000 rupees a square feet. 2014 is the completion year, available from the resale market. Shown a phenomenal price appreciation since launch of 33%. I don't know whether you'll be able to get it in the real market as we speak right now. Backed by Xander Private Equity Fund. Royal Park Purvanchal Group, Sector 137. This is 5,200 to 5,300 rupees a square feet. 2014 being the completion year. Available from the resale market. Interestingly, every project that has been launched in 2011 is showing a 30 to 35% price appreciation on an annualized basis. So that was probably the best time to buy in Noida. Sharnam is the third project. This is Great Value Projects. This project is trading at 4,800 rupees a square feet. And March 2010 was the launch date of this project, available in the resale market, getting ready in 2015. This project has appreciated 19% since launch on an annualized basis.
And Samir, when you point out to a figure like, you see 30-35% appreciation from 2011 to 2013, or we've not even completed 2013, sometimes a run up too fast is also a big reason for why property prices are now going to mellow. Most of the markets, your data has shown, whether it's MMR or it's NCR, prices have just been insane. And there has to be some amount of sanity returning to the market, isn't it?
You're right, but there are 2-3 reasons for that, and why I think Noida markets will not get sane. One, the price is still very affordable. Second, the land prices have gone up. Thirdly, that
even things like circle rate have
exactly, circle rates have gone up. Thirdly, cost of financing has gone up. So for a developer to be able to relaunch projects at these price points will almost be impossible.
So what we're saying is that they may not come down.
Yeah, they may come down. They may even come down then.
Little bit.
But the function of prices going up and going down now purely is going to be driven by demand and supply. So what you're going to see is that the developer will not be able to offer you cheaper projects, but the investors who have invested in 2010 at these fantastic price points of 2,000 to 3,000 rupees a square feet, they're seeing a price point of 4,500 rupees a square feet. They need the money, they made their returns, they're looking at an exit, and they will give you those great value.
Okay, so that's it. So developers are not in a position to bring down prices, so do keep looking out for great values in the resale market. There's Tierra Paras Buildtech that we recommend you look at. There's also Royal Park by Purvanchal Group, and there's Sharnam Great Value Projects. We're going to be back in a moment. We will resolve some of your legal questions. Buying property has never been an easy job.